Hello, readers. A couple weeks ago, we talked about reading stamina, and we learned that reading stamina is how long we can read for without giving up. And we talked about different ways that we can increase our reading stamina: grabbing our books, getting started right away, reading quietly, keeping our eyes on our book the whole time, staying in one spot, and looking at one book at a time. We also had a special reading stamina chart. And the last time we were together, we set a goal for how many minutes we would try and read for without getting distracted. So you can see on my reading stamina chart, I set a goal for 5 minutes. So after we read together, I went off by myself. I grabbed my book bag and I set my timer and I checked to see if I could read for 5 full minutes without getting distracted. So did you print your chart a couple weeks ago? Have you been checking in on your reading stamina? I bet you're starting to notice that your line is going like this. And that's showing you that your reading stamina is increasing. And if you haven't started your chart, you can always print it now and start working on increasing your stamina today. So what I'd like you to do is I want you to think back to a couple weeks ago and think about that goal that you set. Did you set 5 minutes too? Or did you have a different amount of time? Well, today I want you to see if you can increase your goal. So today I'm going to challenge myself to read for 6 minutes. And if I can do that by myself without getting distracted, then I'm going to color it in on my chart after I read. So I hope today that you're starting to think about how many minutes you'll try to read for independently by yourself, and then you can fill it in on your chart after our video. So what we've been practicing is we've been practicing retelling. And retelling is something that we're going to be practicing over and over again because the more you practice something, the better you get at it. So today, I want you to pick a different book from the other day, but one that you've read before. And I want you to reread and then practice retelling that story in your own words. So today, I'm going to have you help me. Last time we were together, at the end of the story, I asked you who the characters were, where they were in the story, where that setting was, and some of the things that happened from the beginning, middle, and end. Today, I'm going to read a story called Mother Bird. And after, we'll talk about those questions, and then I want you to see if you can try retelling this story in your own words. Are you ready to try it? Okay. Put on those listening ears. Here we go. Mother Bird. Mother Bird is looking for a worm. Up in the tree, the baby birds are hungry. Mother Bird looks and looks for a worm. Here comes a worm. Mother Bird sees the worm. Here comes a cat. The cat sees Mother Bird. What do you think the cat is going to try and do? Mother Bird sees the cat. Up goes Mother Bird. Up, up, up goes Mother Bird. Mother Bird goes up to the baby birds in the tree. The worm is for the baby birds. Okay, readers, put on your thinking caps. Who were the characters in the story? Can you list them across your fingers? Yeah, we can see 2 of them on the cover. We had Mother Bird, the baby birds, and then who came along? The cat. Where did the story take place? Outside. And they were mostly near a tree where the nest was. What happened at the beginning of the story? What was Mother Bird doing? And then what started to happen in the middle of the story? And then along came who? And then what happened at the end of the story? Okay, do you think you can put it all together? Today we read Mother Bird. In this story, you try to retell the whole story from the beginning to the end. All right, now I'm going to try retelling, and I want you to give me a thumbs up each time you hear a part that you remembered, that you shared. Today, we read Mother Bird, and Mother Bird had a problem. Her baby birds were hungry, so she went off to search for a worm, and all of a sudden she found a worm. And as Mother Bird found a worm, someone found her. A cat saw Mother Bird and tried to catch her. But Mother Bird was fast, and she flew up, 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 up to the tree, and then she gave the worm to her baby birds. Did you remember most of those parts? Give me a thumbs up. The other thing we talked about when we were retelling and using our retelling hand was this part in the middle. We talked about this heart. Do you remember what the heart represents? You're right, sharing a connection. And remember that a connection is something that when you're reading the story, when you make a connection, the story reminds you of something that happened in your own life, or sometimes a story you read might remind you of another story that you read. So as we were listening to Mother Bird today, did you make a connection? Did this story make you think about anything? Can you share with me if you made a connection? Well, as we were reading Mother Bird today, when we got to this page made me think about a bush that is in the front of my house. There's a bush and it has a nest in it, just like the nest here. So it made me think about the nest at my house, but the nest at my house doesn't have baby birds in it yet. We peeked in today and we saw 3 light blue eggs, 3 robin eggs. So when we were reading the beginning of the story, it made me think about that nest that I saw at my house today. If you made a connection and you shared it with me, you can also share it with someone else in your family. And now I hope that you'll go off and you'll pick some books in your reading bag and you'll retell them too. And remember, if you have your stamina chart, set a goal for yourself. How many minutes are you going to try and read for on your own? Maybe you can have someone help you set a timer. And then if you reach your goal, color it in on your chart and see if your stamina starts to increase each week as you're reading.